Alright, welcome back to my Iwaihime stream, and we're gonna be continuing where we left off. So we last did Tsubakiko's closing chapter-ish kind of thing. I actually don't know what this is, but it feels like a closing chapter for each chapter girl, and you know the ending should go with Kurokami. I mean, you know, this is like a 1,000 story kind of thing, so you know this is gonna end with Kurokami being the best girl, right? Anyway, so I'm doing it in like the reverse order. So, you know, the question arcs ended with like Tsubakiko, so I started with Tsubakiko, so next will be Riria and then Kanae. So let's get started. Alright, let's continue where we left off. Okay, this is further off. Okay, got it. Alright, let's start it.
Set!
Yeah. So we're gonna go Riria next, cause I need to fix my mic. It's blocking my view. I got like oh, I thought I could move it like that. Oh. Alright, so the next one is gonna be Riria. At least I have tolerance for idol crap in our town. Anyway, in today's warring period of idols, you couldn't survive by simply by being cute. Flower High School was a fiercely athletic idol unit, and we stole our stalls on dancing till we dropped. We moved and sang with a tense figure on the stage, and literally dripping with sweat. Honestly, we could have just lip sync, but we refused to cut any corners. Yeah, that's very tiring, honestly, but you really have to be fit. According to our leader, Chi, you weren't a full-fledged member of Flower High until you collapsed on stage. To be honest, I thought they were just exaggerating at first, but oh, how wrong I was. I had once fainted face first onto the stage, forcing her to get a fake teeth to replace the one she broke in the fall. Oh my god. But she never tried to hide it. In fact, she told the story to her fans for bragging rights. That was what Flower High School was all about. Perfect. I would forge my own tale of heroism. No, my legend. I had to dance with all my might, all my heart, and all my soul. I was dancing today with enough spirit to kill myself. In fact, I don't want to death just to try to take me and laugh at him in his face. The fans broke out in laughter. I felt like I finally understood how things work with Flower High's performances. But I wasn't done yet. That wasn't enough to make me pass out. I had to keep pushing my limits.
はい、お待たせ。テストの答案を返します。
お前何点だった？俺72点。
What a shitty score, bro.
なあ！1点足りねえよ。居残りとか冗談じゃねえ。
ほらほら静かに。次、布川さん。はい。今回も頑張ったわね。いい点数よ。ありがとうございます。布川さんって毎日お稽古があって休みの日もお仕事なんでしょ？なのにこれだけ学業も頑張れるなんて本当にすごいわね。私、何かを言い訳にしたくないんです。お稽古が忙しいから勉強がおろそかならお稽古をやめればいいんだし、勉強が忙しくてお稽古がおろそかなら勉強をやめればいいんだし、だから学校と仕事を両立させるからには両方に一生懸命じゃなきゃおかしいと思いまして。本当に立派ね。やれるところまでやってごらんなさい。布川さんってすごいよね。成績優秀でアイドルなんて嘘 嘘みたい。
You better believe it.
私たちとは出来が違うのよ。デコモは。
I neglected my homework when I was the cleaning princess. My teachers overlooked it because they figured it was hard for me to maintain my studies alongside with my work. But there was no way my classmates would let that slide, so I couldn't afford to slack off. No excuses I could come up with to satisfy them, nor did I need any. I just had to devote myself to whatever tasks were before me, so I would always be on top of my game. And doing so, I could earn everyone's recognition and respect that much I was sure of. I applied myself to every challenge I faced, from dancing lessons to singing lessons. They often said that a perfect performance required blood, sweat, and tears. Well, if that were possible to show all of that, I would. Why, you may ask? Because you need visible results to be respected. That was why Flower High and its selling point were a perfect fit for me. I worked hard on stage and at school, so I had to work extra hard from all my fans to recognize my efforts.
CD お買い上げ1枚ごとに1人のメンバーを指名して握手していただきます。
メンバー全員と握手するには5枚買えということでござるな。あくどいでござる。
10枚買って愛ちゃんと10回握手するのは可能ですか？
できまーす。
Horror fans went wild. I couldn't be more grateful to those who bought multiple CDs just to spend time with us. So I wanted to match their love for me as best as I could. No, not match it, return it tenfold. I wouldn't let them outdo me no matter what. Flower High School was all about passion, so that was what we were going to give them.
リリーちゃん CD5 枚買いました。握手交換してください。
私のために5枚も買ってくれたんですか？ありがとうございます。
What a big boy.
マジカルリリーの頃から応援してます。これからも全力で応援します。
リリーちゃんのとこは熱心なファンが多いね。すごい。やっぱりマジカルリリーの頃からの熱心なファンが多いんだね。その人たちみんなまとめてフラハイに入学させちゃいます。私はもうお掃除プリンセスじゃない、フラハイの新入生なんですから。そうだね、私たちも頑張ってリリーちゃんのファンもどんどんフラハイに入学させちゃおう。
It felt like I was walking on air. Just think, if you were to step into sky and kept putting your feet forward, it really would just as though you were walking on the clouds. It was a perfect metaphor for how I felt. I put everything I had into my work so I could stay among the clouds. That determination surged through every fiber of my being.
やばい、酸欠かも。目が回る。
She's getting exhausted.
リリーちゃん休憩入ります。
リリー大丈夫？張り切りすぎ。すみません、5分だけ休みます。
I staggered on over to the break area, set up behind the partition in the back. The unit ought to be called Adrenaline High School, since that was the only thing keeping us standing. The staff kept inquiring about my health, clearly concerned for my well-being. I love working so hard that others would fall all over themselves to make sure I was okay. I took a water bottle, a plop on a folding chair. Considering she's working hard not only in dancing and singing, but also her schoolwork and all the other stuff she's working on, I'm surprised how she's not so exhausted and she has so much time to do a lot of things. The crowd's zeal was palpable even through these thin walls. I could hear those who have been waiting to get a handshake from me chatting as they recognized the line to accommodate for my break. I couldn't afford to rest. I was here because all of them had cheered me on. But sorry, just a few minutes, please. I closed my eyes and heard the fans talking. A lot of them were surprisingly timid, so rarely spoke their true thoughts to me, to my face. So getting to overhear them would be a good learning experience.
愛ちゃんビーズワークにハマってるってスレッダーで言ってたよ。
Twitter.
これプレゼントにビーズのセット買ってきた。喜んでくれるかな。リリーちゃんって
今ハマってるものとかないのかな。
好きなものやハマってるものを教えてくれると俺らも応援のしがいがあるよな。
Interesting. So that was the sort of thing they wanted to hear. I refrained from talking about my interests because I thought it sounded like an underhanded way of getting presents, but it seemed like I needed to rethink
歌
that.
はちーちゃんが一番だけど、ダンスならアンズニャンが一番かな。
愛ちゃんのあのフギョンって仕草かわいいよな。
フラハイは派手であっても決して下品でないところがいいんだよ。恥じらいが大事なんだよ。
Shyness? What? This was turning out to be very informative, and had to study Chi's singing and Anzu's dancing. I also had to look into coming up with my cute gesture on my own, like the whole squeaky queen thing I had going as the cleaning princess. So being flashy yet modest was key, huh? That was kind of a tall order.
最近にわかが増えたよな。
Oh shit, do you know how this is gonna go?
フラハイの暑さが分かってね、萌え豚が増えてムカつくよ。
I could tell this wasn't going to be a pleasant topic.
リリーチュマジうぜんだよ。消えてくんねえかな。つかリリーが消えろ。
あいつフラハイに溶け込んでねえよな。なんてあんなのが入ってきたんだよ。
New members always got a cold reception by longtime fans, but that was only natural. No idol could possibly survive if they couldn't win people over with their natural talents.
マジカルリリーの頃は可愛かったのにな。劣化早すぎだろ。
今日見て失望したわ。ぶっさ声抜けるわ。
手足長すぎてダンス決めよ。さようなら俺のマジカルリリー。
I wasn't just some doll modeled after a grade schooler. Did they seriously think I'd stay sane forever? I was in high school already. Those creeps who were obsessed with my tiny grade schooler like magical Lily had absolutely nothing good to say about the current me. Honestly, I wish people like that would just buzz off forever. Oh no. Even if it was only in my head, I was bad-mouthing them.
リリー、なんであんなにダンス下手なのにフラハイにいるわけ？
Man. Damn, boy. That hurt. Shut up. I've been practicing really hard over here. If I was really that bad, then tell me where I screwed up.
お掃除プリンセス好きだったのにな。超ババカ幻滅しまくり。頼むから思い出を汚さないでほしいんだ。
Like I give a crap. I don't want to be one of your memories.
なんでフラハイに入ってきたんだよ。誰も頼んでねえよ。
Shut the hell up. I didn't join because bastards like you asked for it.
てめえはずっとお掃除魔法でクリンクリンとかやってりゃいいんだよ。
マジカルリリーの悪口を言うな。
Huh?
そうだそうだ、俺たちのリリーはずっと俺たちのリリーだ。劣化したとか言うんじゃねえ。
リリーちゃんダンス頑張ってたよ。前回よりずっと上達してたよ。
負けるなリリー。僕たち応援してるから。これからもずっ
So
と。
this is just fan wars in general. Warm teardrops trailed down my cheeks. They weren't over anything shallow like joy or gratitude. My heart should have been empty and motionless, yet I was crying all the same. I knew it. They weren't all just haters. There were people out there who understood and supported me. Suddenly, it felt like several spotlights had focused on me. I was on stage engulfed with dazzling light. The countless fans who supported me were in the audience. I wiped away my tears and started running towards the light. Huh? It all went quiet as a bomb. Soon, there were quiet murmurs across the audience. I felt like I made some kind of mistake. Just then, I was bathed in blinding lights all at once, and the fans roared with tears. Finally realizing the lights in their eyes were directly behind me, I turned around, and I saw that I was standing there, waving to all fans.
お掃除の国のプリンセスマジカルリリーだよ。ハッローン。
ハッドローン。
今日はリリーのためにこんなに大勢集まってくれてありがとう。
リリーリリリリマジカルリ ち一生マジカルリリーのしもべです。ずっとずっと愛してます。リリーちゃん命。
The fans showed their heartfelt support, but none of it was aimed at me. I started to wonder if I was invisible or something, but soon enough I began to wish I really was, because Magical Lily finally noticed my presence.
どちら様かな？
Wait, I need to close my window. It's starting to get cold. Okay, I was wondering why I was starting. I'm really tired. My humidifier was out of water, and the dry air didn't work out so well with like, it tires you out if the air was so dry for a really long time. Anyway, let's continue. The audience burst into laughter, straight out of a sitcom. She knew perfectly well who I was. She was mocking me.
私はお掃除の国のプリンセスマジカルリリー。おばさんは誰？
Oh man. Yeah, this is her complex. And then I know what to say. The stage was hers, so anything I said would just come out in her favor. All I could do was hold my tongue and let the verbal whiplash continue.
ねえねえ、おばさんはなんでそんなに可愛くないの？
Someone in the audience shouted, "What a hag!" and eliciting yet more laughter. Finally, I hit my boiling
うっ
point.
さいわね。あんたの慣れの果てがこれよ。
リリー、そんな可愛くないおばさんになりたくない。
いつまでもロリキャラが通用すると思ってんじゃないわよ。あんたもあと数年でおばさんなんだから。
Why did they make it like turning from grade schooler to high school automatically makes you super old? What does that make anyone who's like just finishing college? No, starting college and
ならないもん。リリーは永遠に10歳なの。
just saying that.
甘えてんじゃないわよ、クソガキが。
リリーちゃんに汚い言葉を使うな。
ババア帰れ。いつまでリリーちゃんのステージに居座るつもりだ。帰れ帰れ帰れ帰れ。
The crowd chanted in unison. I grit my teeth and fought back tears against the howling storm of malice.
ありがとね、おばさん。私の代わりに年を取ってくれて。私は永遠に人気絶頂のマジカルリリー。あんたはさしずめ、私の赤ね。だから赤を落としてきれいにしなくっちゃ。ピカピカマジックでクリンクリン。
Their shrill laughter seized me by the heart. I can't tell if she fell asleep or something, but she has the pose. Oh, another bad dream, huh? Bad daydream. No, that wasn't a daydream. I knew the truth. I tapped my smartphone several times and opened up to the sound familiar screen. Littering it were rows of tread titles that matched up perfectly with the slander in my daydream. A pro turns criticism into strength. That was my motto.
リリー、具合どう？握手戻れそう？はい、すみません。もう大丈夫です。マジカルリリーのファン、みんな超熱心。リリーちゃんの休みが終わるまでみんな待ってるよ。いいなぁ。私もあんなに熱心なファン欲しい。マジカルリリーのファンですけどね。
I like how she's making more sounds.
あ、クロッチ。
Zoe's arrival at the club room for the first time in a while was greeted with an anonymous slushing. Slushing? Pronounce that. Riria was lying asleep on her desk. Zoe caught on and tiptoed quietly across the room. She must have been feeling okay that day.
グレート。リリアちゃんの寝顔が見られるなんて 今日はなんてグレートな日なんだ。
女の子の寝顔は干渉するもんじゃないの。
学校だけじゃないんだもんね。疲れてるんだろうね。
おいらにはそんな生活はとてもじゃないけど身が持たないね。華やかなアイドルも大変なんだね。
大変大変。
おいらは何もなくていいや。何にもない日万歳か。
I really love she only grunts. I wasn't actually sleeping, just closing my eyes, so I could hear them all taking care not to wake me up. It warmed my heart. I'd been tired a lot recently. Maybe I've been pushing myself too hard. At first, I joined the LCSC, intending to build up my image as someone who performed community service. But ever since Susuhara joined, it had become a place of comfort. I knew why. It was because I could be my true self here. I'd probably move on from the entertainment world someday. In this era, youth was everything. High school idol events would eventually be replaced by middle school. Basically, a lot of people are turning pedos. Fuck. And in the end, even they would be displaced by elementary school units like my Cleaning Princess. Current tastes were shifting towards the young, and no one could stop that. In other words, the shelf life of us girls who use youth as a selling point was getting shorter and shorter. I was confident that so long as I applied myself, I could be better than anyone else at singing or dancing, but no amount of effort or experience could compensate for my fading youth. Perhaps one day, they wouldn't even want idols who practiced as hard as we did. With a rising emphasis on amateur skill, an era where only actual amateurs would get the spotlight could be very well on their way. We were merely shining in transient sunlight between a rift in the clouds between eras. Once I retired from showbiz, I wanted to work at a place like the LCSC. Oh no, how careless of me. My thoughts became rather pessimistic when I was tired. Perhaps I had bipolar tendencies. I doubted many would recognize me as Riria Kurusu on stage in my current state. I sighed gently. I glanced at the others. They grouped up on their tables together and were chatting away. It seemed like the LCSC would be helping out with a project to revitalize the Iwaihime shopping district. Apparently, they were seeking youth's opinions on how to liven up the area. Anyone could think of something run-of-the-mill, but there were nothing more youthful than thinking completely outside the box. And so the club was throwing out crazy ideas and laughing about them. They looked like they were having fun. I wonder if I should join in, too. I just knew I'd start spiraling back into negative thoughts if I tried to sleep.
あれ、起こしちゃった？いえ、少し前から起きてました。お気遣いのおかげで少し休めました。よかったらリリアンもネタ出し協力してよ。
僕たちもそろそろネタ切れっぽいしね。
おいおい、第1回グレートデュエル祝い元カップいいと思うぜ。
あつたくんはカードゲーム以外で何かアイデアを出してね。
Children's card games. I always like that joke when they reference Yu-Gi-Oh.
あつた先輩ってわかりやすくて面白いですね。あれ、帰るの？お手洗いに。戻ってきたら私もネタ出しに参加します。
待ってるよ。
はい、ありがとうです、鈴原先輩。
I took deep breaths as I proceeded down the hall, and as I watched the sports clubs practicing in the schoolyard, I forced my emotions to change tracks. I wasn't studying or working right now, which meant I needed to put up my whole heart into having fun in the LCSC.
Yes.
I wasn't Magical Lily or Riria Kurusu at the moment. I was Riria Nunokawa, and she was going to do everything she could to enjoy herself. I redid my makeup. I redid my makeup in the bathroom and headed back toward the LCSC. I could hear the others laughing from the club room. It sounded like they were all in high spirits. Huh? I prided myself on my hearing. That was why I could tell that someone there was someone else laughing amongst the others, someone not part of the LCSC. A new prospective member, perhaps? I quietly took him to peek the club room from outside. Inside, everyone was laughing, with Minobe at the center. Harumiya, Suzuhara, and Atsuta were there, along with the one other. Everyone was laughing at what she had to say. Who was she? My mind went blank, unable to comprehend the sight before me. Because the one laughing with them was me.
祝い事商店街のみんなをクリンクリンしちゃうぞって
それはグレートなアイディアだぜ
Wait, give me a second. Sorry, I was testing the noise filter for a bit. Anyway.
できれば最高だけど、でも事務所的にはどうなわけ？もちろんお仕事として依頼してくれれば受けてくれると思います。今は地域とのコラボとか流行ってますからね。きっといい条件で開拓してくれると思うな。
リリアちゃんが来てくれたらファンも集まって大変なことになるだろうね。
ある種切り札というか反則技というか、ま、銭が積めるかどうかだね。
祝い事商店街にマジカルリリーがカムバックしてくれるなら1000万だろうと安いもの。商店街の金を全部かき集めてでも実現してみせろ。
お掃除の心は恋心、あなたを思ってクリクリ。
グレート！お掃除の国の国家来た！
主にあつたくんが大喜びの企画かな。
実現したらすごそうだけどな。
ま、その案はナッチーがお金を集められたらということで、オイラたちは別に現実的な案を考えておこう。
お掃除マジイクルルラララ。
あなたのハートをクリクリルルルラララ。
She danced and fooled around with Atsuta. It was magical Lily. But how? How was she there? It didn't make any sense. I was right here. But there was something else that twisted the night even further. It was where she was. I was the one supposed to be sitting there, having fun with the others, and yet everyone acted as though they were Lily's rightful place, as though there were nothing wrong with me being gone, as though I was invisible. Just then, Lily's eyes met mine. Even I didn't understand what I said next.
そこは私の場所。
I stomped into the club room and grabbed Lily by the collar, and she just flashed me with a malicious grin.
何するの？あつたお兄ちゃんと楽しく遊んでただけなのに。
Oh shit, she was daydreaming.
なんであんたがここにいんのよ。ここは私の場所よ。あんたがいる場所じゃない。
そんなことないよ。ここはリリーがいてもいい場所だもん。
Sorry, I only got this mic, boom mic arc just today, so I'm experimenting a little.
というかむしろ、どうして私がいちゃいけないわけ？
だってあんたは私
頭大丈夫？あんたむしろ逆でしょ。リリーがいるからお姉ちゃんがいられるんじゃない。
That was an undeniable fact. I would not be the person I was today without her. But the past was the past. There was no way she could possibly be here at the same time as me.
違うよ、そういう意味じゃなくて、リリーがいるからあんたはアイドル面ができてるわけでしょ。どういう意味よ。私がお掃除プリンセスマジカルリリーとして大ブレイクしたわけ。あんたは元お掃除プリンセスのクルスリリア。元お掃除プリンセスって肩書きがなかったらあんたなんて誰が見てくれるんだ。あんたの事務所の研究生、あんたより歌が上手い子なんて何人もいるじゃない。ダンスだってあんたより上手い子は何人もいるわ。でもフラハイ新入生に選ばれたのはあんただった。なぜ？どうして？みんなあんなにお歌やダンスのレッスン頑張ったのに。
Wait, I'll be right back. I need a way to, maybe I should drink a caffeine pill. I think it's from the sugar. I was eating candies before this, so that was the sugar crash happening right now. I'll be right back. I have to go drink something. Oh man, maybe I should have chosen a different color. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, I went for a nap. 10 minute nap-ish. I also drank the caffeine blonde, but anyway. Damn. Yeah, I slept at 5 a while ago, so I'll try to sleep at midnight later. Anyway.
なんで私より私たちより歌が下手なダンスが下手なそれは
I couldn't even pretend she was wrong. Those facts were common knowledge. It was because they thought an entertainment world would be all abuzz if the once renowned Queen and Princess made her comeback with the Flower High School. Agency staff, managers, reporters, everyone said that. I wasn't chosen because of my fierce dedication to my lessons as Riria Kurisu. It was because I was the former Queen and Princess, Magical Lily.
あんたは私のこと過去の幻みたいに思ってるみたいだけど、私に言わせればそんなの全然正反対。あんたは私の赤なの。
Damn.
ゴシゴシポロポロ出てくるバッチリ赤。でも感謝はしてるんだよ。だってあんたが私の代わりに年を取ってくれるから、私は永遠に10歳のままでいられるんだもん。あんた人を絞りかすか何かみたいに。いいわ、あんたが永遠の10歳ならそうしたらいい。なら5年前の世界に閉じこもって好きなだけマジカルリリーをしてたらいい。でもね、ここはあんたの世界じゃない、私の世界なの。あんたの言う絞りかすのね。だから元の世界へ帰りなさいよ。何がおかしいのよ。別に。ああ、そっか、そういうことだったっけって思い出したな。はあ？何を言ってんの？別に。
Her sickening laughter lingered in my ears as she faded away like mist. Just then, I felt the frozen air thaw, almost like time itself had stopped and only now resumed its march. Everyone acknowledged my presence. Their cheerful smiles were gone, replaced by confused stares in my direction.
Riria-chan?
Oh, that's so scary. Now she's schizophrenic. She was seeing Magical Lily.
どうしたの急に。何かまずいことでも急に思い出したりした？いえ、すみません。
To them, it must have looked like I'd been joking around 1 second, only to stand up and freeze completely still the next. I sat back down in the seat Lily had taken from me. It was still warm. It felt uncomfortable, like someone else just had been sitting there. No, that wasn't true. I was just overthinking the matter. That was just delusion brought on by exhaustion, another one of those bad daydreams I always got. That had to be it.
大丈夫？貧血？
大丈夫です。ちょっとはしゃぎすぎたみたいで。はいはい、マジカルリリー祝い元商店街コンサートは実現できたら素敵だけど予算問題があるからね。
そこは俺が必ず銀行を襲ってでも金を。
賞金の出るカードゲーム大会でもあればいいのにね。
それだ、今こそ俺のグレートデッキでグレートドリームを実現する時。
Wait, I need to get some water.
大会で賞金がもらえたらということで、現実的な他の案を考えよう。そうですね、現実的な他の案を。
Magical Lily was dead, gone for good, done and dusted. I didn't need her anymore. I spent the rest of the time chatting with the LCSC. Before I knew it, it was time to go home. The LCSC really was fun. It was so calm and peaceful. But I had a horrible daydream for the first time in a while today. I hope the others didn't think poorly of me.
疲れてるな、私。こういう時は質のいい眠りを取らなきゃ。
I pushed my bike out of the parking lot and headed home. Oh. Oh, I like how she's interfering like that. Wait, I need to check something out. Got interested in something. Oh, she had a very adult voice there. The plan was to go home. Wait, let me. I might be daydreaming. The plan was to go to bed early and wake up refreshed. However, for some reason, my body was heavy, and it felt like I had a bad dream. I was probably just exhausted to the core. The world outside looked awfully gray, as if reflecting my own sluggish state. Did my alarm clock fail to wake me? According to the clock, it was far later than when I usually had to get up. It didn't seem like I had time to do my daily yoga before the breakfast. And the mother had a performance coming up, so it seemed she spent the night at her studio. What? Oh, we actually never knew what her mom does. It was common of her to stay there overnight when she was deep in her work, so this was hardly anything new. Thus, my father usually made breakfast. He was a general practitioner. As such, he was very picky about the nutritional balance and always ready meals with that in mind. Not that I'd ever tell my mom this, but my father was probably the better cook. I mean, it's totally fine nowadays. She was a dedicated actress. She'd always say that time spent on the housework was time better spent studying her roles. In that sense, it was pretty unfair that she forced me to go through cooking classes. Well, that was just how things were with my family. My parents were both devoted to their respective professions. We didn't usually hang out or take trips like the average family. We all loved each other. Oh, I like this. She starts with having a workaholic family.
お父さん、おはよう。
Ohio. おはようございます。Dad was just about to leave. In person, he was just a man of few words, but in his text, he was very friendly and cute. Never mind.
今朝最悪。こんなに寝坊しちゃったの初めてかも。
そうか？
Dad gave a curt response as he tied his shoes. From the perspective of a doctor like him, waking up late might just be the body reacting to its desire for sleep. Which is what happened to me this morning, by the way. Though he probably didn't care too much so long as I didn't miss school.
いってらっしゃい。お父さん、愛してる。
Me too.
A super lazy response. Me too. That's so
またメ
lazy.
ール送るね。
That's so lazy.
暇な時でいい。
お父さんこそ返事は暇な時でいいのに。
Dad had a habit of secretly reading texts from his beloved daughter, even during checkups and sending responses in whenever openings he could find. He may have been curt, but he loved me, and that feeling was mutual. After saying goodbye to him, I turned around quickly. It was a family rule that you couldn't skip breakfast under any circumstances. That wouldn't work out for me because I do intermittent fasting. I wanted to savor the taste, but didn't have much time to spare. Imagining what breakfast awaited me was the greatest pleasure of this morning. I was sure it would be a stack of salad that was hardcore about vegetables. I should eat something with vegetables later because I ate like katsu oyster. Actually, I was supposed to have like 4 pieces of oyster, but I felt like they ran out of oysters, so they only had 2, and they gave me like really good katsu. I think they gave me kurobora pork katsu just to replace the oysters. That was okay. I mean, I liked it, so I didn't feel like I needed to do like a refund or whatever. So it was fine. It's totally understandable. They replaced it with something good, so it was okay. Anyway, yeah, I should get something with veggies for dinner.
あれ？
There was something indeed a place set up for me at the table, but there was no mouth-watering breakfast there. All I found was a fork and dirty plate covered with sauce and salad dressing. My family had a policy of cleaning your place as soon as you finish eating. Leaving dirty dishes out on display like this never happened.
お父さん、急いでて食器を下げるのを忘れたの
No,
かな
what happened was Magical Lily already ate their food. That didn't seem right. He left the house as calmly as always. Besides, if this was Dad's food, then where was mine?
私の食事は
I checked the kitchen. There was no food waiting for me there. The plate and fork were in the sink. They appeared to be Dad's. I was supposed to clean our dishes before going to school each day. Then, was that really my food out in the dining room?
どういうこと？
I felt like someone was pulling a sick prank on me. My dad wasn't the type to leave his dirty dishes at the table or forget to make breakfast for me. Then, whose food was this? Or shouldn't it be dirty plate or something, not food? If it were mine, then I was the only one who could have eaten it. Oh no, you just know.
私
I wasn't hungry. In fact, if someone told me I'd eaten, I might have even believed them. Come to think of it, Dad seemed oddly curt when I saw him just now. Normally when I said good morning to him, he'd responded in kind. But what if that was the second time I said that to him this morning?
何それホラー映画みたいなんだけど
Is this something? Is maybe her body's being controlled by her magical lily aspect, and she, what? Did I have a split personality who got up and ate before me? Then, did that mean these really were the remains of a breakfast I'd already eaten?
何それ怖いさもなきゃすっごく面白
Yeah,
いんで
that's
すけ
kind
ど
of scary. What the hell? I tried joking around, but no one would respond, because I was the only one here. I like how her sweat emotion looks like she had that single teardrop or something like that. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. Wait, sorry. I got some OCD. I got some little OCD going on, but don't worry about it. It seemed my mind had jumped ahead again. My usual bad daydreams were even worse than usual today. It wasn't uncommon for me to be plagued with a weird daydream while I was spaced out, only to snap out of it and find myself in a completely different location. I'd gone in a detailed checkup to see if it were some kind of illness. The results turned out nothing. My mother urged me not to tell anyone about it because health concerns tend to reflect badly on auditions. Apparently, she had similar problems as me when she was my age. Yeah, it makes sense because, you know, the thing about, what's the word for it? Anyway, she inherited it, basically. So I decided to take it easy on myself and go to the infirmary later. Miss Himegara said that she was also prone to bad daydreams. As such, she was the only one who understood my suffering. Spacing out and feeling particularly sluggish, I managed to finally drag myself through the school gate.
風邪じゃないんだし、しっかりしなきゃ。この程度で授業を休んでたら勉強に遅れちゃう。
I was feeling down, but my body was still in good health. I spurred myself onward up the stairs and finally arrived at my familiar classroom. Homeroom hasn't started yet. The class was unusually lively with laughter this morning. Everyone was crowded around my desk. Oh, it's magical, Lily. What was going on? It was like someone was sitting in my place, and the others were having a riot over what they had to say. I checked to see who was the center of attention was, and when I saw her face, I gasped.
でもこれ内緒ね。秘密ってことになってるから、リリー怒られちゃう。
It was her again. Deja vu. A forgotten daydream was now replaying before me. Magical Lily was in my spot again. She was sitting there like it was her own desk, chatting with the rest of the class. Though the outfit was clearly not fit for school, no one found it strange. They were all chatting with her as though they thought she was me.
布川さんってすっごく面白いね。誤解してたかも。完璧すぎて近寄りがたいイメージがあったんだけどね。そんなのひどいよ。リリー泣いちゃう。涙はダメ。クリンクリン。お掃除魔法で笑顔にしちゃうぞ。
The class was in high spirits. That I could not slide. After all, Magical Lily was over for me, and this was school. Though I might fool around and recite one of my old catchphrases every now and then, I generally tried to stay away from it. I thought of it as my way of separating school from work, drawing the line between my public and private lives. But the me over there didn't care about any of that. She flaunted the character Magical Lily and was sucking up to every last person there. To me, it was beyond aggravating. But the classmates loved it and thought I was funny. So it was Lily, who everyone really wanted. Was it pointless of me to separate work from school?
当たり前じゃん。私、仕事も勉強も頑張ってます。キリッなんて。鼻につくに決まってるじゃん。
Time stood still. Lily stood up and faced me. I tore a path through my classmates, still frozen in laughter, and got right up into her face.
なんなのあんた。また私の世界を乗っ取る気？冗談じゃないわよ。消えなさいよ。あんたの世界は舞台の上でしょ。それも過去の世界のね。
そうかな。リリー、 この舞台の上でもうまくやっていけると思うけどな。
はあ、わけわかんないこと言ってないでさっさと。
Lily smirked and faded away. The world suddenly began to move again at that moment. I was surrounded by my laughing classmates.
ねえねえ、布川さん、あれやってよ、あれ。散らかってるおもちゃを片付けるときに使う魔法、あれなんだったっけ？
My classmates urged me to do my cleaning magic slick with a gleam in their eyes. When I was in a good mood, I'd play along and do it for them. But right now, I was in no state for any of that. After all, this was school. I couldn't bring out my work self here. No, that wasn't the issue. Magical Lily was all in the past. She couldn't be here anymore, so I had to let them all down.
ねえねえ、やってよやってよ。布川さん、ごめんなさい。
My classmates looked puzzled by my sudden 180. We were all having fun, and yet I ruined it by being a total wet blanket. I bent my lower lip as I quietly took my seat. My classmates laughed awkwardly as they returned to their desks. Oh, she might be suffering by bipolar syndrome or something. And waiting behind them was Lily, smirking.
みんなも私と一緒の方が楽しいみたい。布川リリアなんて誰も求めてないんじゃないかな。
All of a sudden, everyone burst into laughter. They were looking at me as they laughed out their guts out. It was all so abrupt that I had no idea what they found so funny. But they were all looking my way, so it must have been something to do with me. Even the teacher was laughing. I was the only one out of the loop. Why? What was going on? It was like the teacher had called on me to read from the textbook, only to catch me completely flat-footed. In actuality, I'd probably been spacing out. After all, I didn't know what they were all laughing at.
布川さん、模範解答素敵な演技でありがとう。
Oh shit.
ほらほらみんな、静かに静
Yeah,
かに。
she's being possessed from time to time. The teacher merrily turned back to the blackboard and continued writing equations. Did that mean I'd been asked a question and given an answer that made everyone else laugh? Just then I heard giggling. Everyone else was too busy taking notes on the lecture. Only I heard it. I knew who it was by now.
またあんたが余計なことをしたんでしょ。
ギラギラした目でお勉強熱心なあんたより愛くるしくってお茶目で、そして親切に勉強を教えてあげちゃう私の方がみんな大好きみたい。
あんた何を言ってんの？
布川さん、ここ教えてもらってもいい？いいよ。
That classmate had spoken not to me but Lily. She strutted around the classroom like she was the teacher, everyone calling to her one after another.
ここってどうやるのかな？ここはね、X を先にお掃除魔法しちゃうの。
布川さん、俺も教えてもらってもいいかな。
X と Y の3乗をカットの外にクリンクリンして。
やばい、俺現役アイドルに教えてもらっちゃったよ。つぶやいてー、超つぶやいてー。
ブログに書いたりしたらリリー、この学校にいられなくなるよ。リリー、お兄ちゃんたちといつまでも同じクラスでいたいの。絶対につぶやいたりしないでね。はい。
I felt like I was going to be sick. Did I really have split personalities? Oh my god, she maybe does have split personalities. Was Lily taking over my body without my knowledge? my vision distorted, and a moment later I found myself in the corner of the classroom. Lily was sitting in my seat again. That was right. I was standing where Lily had been just a second ago. The surprise didn't end there. My hands were... No. It wasn't just them. My feet. No. My whole body was invisible? I swung my arms around in panic, but I couldn't touch anyone. No one noticed my presence. I had vanished.
二重人格なんかじゃないよ。そんなのリリーやだ。
So she was just having a straight up possession, I guess.
だから私ずっと言ってるじゃん。あんたは赤なの。赤。
それはあんたでしょ。何年も前に洗い落とされた赤じゃない。
This is a bad pun.
違うの。昔話をしてるんじゃない。布川リリアはクルスリリアなんていう全然可愛くないブサイク女の赤を落として永遠の10歳の愛くるしくてキュートなマジカルリリーに生まれ変わるの。
バカじゃない。私もう高校生よ、高校生。それを今さら小学生アイドル？痛々しいったらありゃしない。
そう？ 17歳強とかと同じで永遠に小学生の心を忘れない少女アイドルってありだと思うけどな。
勝手にありにしないでよ。消えなさいよ。
消えてるのはそっちだと思うけどな。
これ戻しなさいよ。
No matter how much I swung my hand, I couldn't see it. Lily was right. I was disappearing.
教室のみんなが言ってるの聞いたでしょ。
Oh, drinking a lot of water made me feel better.
みんなね、
Anyway,
私の方が楽しくていいって。というか布川リリアはなんかおっかなくて近寄りがたかったって言ってる子もいた。
布川さんってやっぱり面白いね。
俺らのことどうせ一般人だと見下してるんだろうなって思ってたけど全然そんなことなかったな。
全然興味なかったけど俺ファンになっちゃいそう。ね、
求められてるのは私の方。
I was distracted once again.
だからあんたはいらないの。クルスリリ
I
ア。
really need to sleep early later.
お掃除プリンセスを卒業した新しいリリアの魅力？そんなの誰も求めてないって。みんなが求めてるのは私。
I love that.
お掃除の国のプリンセス。永遠の小学4年生マジカルリリーなの。
I couldn't even reply. Deep down, I already suspected. No, knowing she was right. Everyone, from my fans to the agency to the rest of Flower High, only expected the former magical Lily. No one cared about Riria Kurisu. I was the only one who wasn't needed. Nobody wanted Riria Kurisu. All anyone wanted was for me to stay magical Lily forever. I looked like a monster compared to back then. Just look at my long and gangly limbs, my fat and hideous breasts and Sorry. Alright, my fourth. What are you talking about? That's the best part. Anyway, my fourth. Sorry. I had to get it out of my system. The former cuteness was absolutely nowhere to be found. No one would ever accept a body like this. Eventually, I went beyond invisible and became nothing but air. I didn't even have eyes to shed tears anymore. I was gradually losing the will to assert myself. Before long, I became an observer, watching Lily as though she were on TV. It all just seemed disconnected. The sadness of being rejected and the bitterness of being replaced, they all felt so distant. I was glad I became air. Otherwise, I probably would have cursed my body and clawed at it until it was no more. I was glad I lost my eyes, because otherwise I might have drowned in my own tears.
布川さん、お弁当一緒に食べない？布川さんなんて他人
This is some weird body snatcher thing.
リリって呼んでもいいよ。すごい、リリちゃんのお弁当って意外と本格派。今日はパパが作ってくれたの。リリとパパは仲良しなの。
俺もリリーちゃんと一緒にお弁当したいな。俺も
マジカルリリーってばやっぱり人気者。
Honestly, I like the closing chapter stuff because it was so supernatural. Well, there's still some supernatural aspects going on, but here is like more psychological aspect. Hers is like she felt like she was having a body snatch moment, but I think this is like personality thing. So we'll see.
今までの私だってツンツンしてて怖いだけだったもんね。
てっきり俺たちのことなんて嫌ってるとばかり。
アイドルだし成績優秀だし私たち下々なんて眼中にないと思っててそんなことないよ。だってリリーはみんなとお友達だもん。
リリアちゃん、なんか吹っ切れたみたいに明るくなったな。
自分がとオーラがなくなってこっちも気が楽だよな。
Wow. Did you hear that, Riria Kurisu? Everyone thought you were looking down on them. All that effort you were so proud of was totally useless. To me, all that hard work you put in just made you look cold. Lily's gotta be pure, peppy, and popular with everyone. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Oh, Luffy's missing.
ウルトラスーパーレアとかそういうカード？
それどころじゃないぜ。カゴイベで限定配布された超マックスグレートレアカードだ。
何それ？ウルト高いの？おいらにも見せてよ。あれ？マジカルリリーのカードだ。
これはかつてマジカルリリーとのコラボイベントで数量限定で配布された幻のカード。ために貯めたお年玉が火を吹いてついにゲットしたのだ。店員さんにショーケースを開けさせる時の店内の作家たちの成功の眼差し。グーッと
そういえばコラボでカードってのがあった気がする。リリー忙しかったからよく知らなかった。
ぜひこのカードにリリアちゃんのサインを。
いいよ。なんでサインする？フルスリリア？やっぱマジカルリリーだよね。
Ow.
Oh yes! Oh yes! マジカルリリーでお願いします。
Atsuda sure was devoted to Lily. He didn't see trash like me. It's like all he ever saw was her. I've been invisible for a long time now. Didn't it all happen today? I just hadn't realized it until now.
リリアちゃん
Oh. Huh?
どうしたの？部室入らないの？
Susuhara noticed me staring blankly at the others enjoying themselves.
鈴原先輩には見えるんですか？
見えるけど。どうしたの？寂しそうな顔をしてるよ。部活に来たんでしょ？行こうよ。
Of course,
みんな
main
のところ
MC
へ。
can see him. Can see her. He's main MC for a reason. Wait, that's redundant.
いいんです。私はみんなが会いたいリリアちゃん。
Everyone in the LCSC was chatting happily with Lily. They all passed right by without even noticing me.
どうして先輩には私が見えるんですか？
不思議だよね。でも僕は君に初めて出会った時から二人とも見えてたよ。
Oh.
君と小さな子が何度も入れ替わりながらみんなと一緒にいるのを見て不思
So, Susuhara had seen everything from the start. He had noticed Lily when even I hadn't. What the hell? Oh my god. No, what the hell?
どうしたの？泣かないで。
Oh, sorry. You could say, "Don't notice me, senpai. I notice you."
私なんていらないんだ。誰もいらないんだ。
I buried my face in Suzuhara's chest and cried. Invisible as I was, no one else could hear my cries. And so they all chattered on in the club room. But Suzuhara could hear me. He accepted me entirely. He was really special. I'd always felt there was something different about him. He's MC. He was the only one who accepted Riria Kurusu, the real me. Oh, I like she has a mature voice here.
もろすぎる。そなたの魂など、これしきのことでたやすく籠絡できる。我がしもべの鈴原鈴の影に身も心も許し。
Oh no, this guy is also a fake. What the fuck?
さすれば、そなたの身はやがて完全に我のものとなる。あとはそなたの体を使い、本物の鈴原鈴を籠絡するの。
Oh, that's a good plan.
喜ぶがいい、布川リリア。そなたの望み通り、我が鈴原とそういった。
Oh, yeah, this comes. Yeah, this was something in her introductory chapter. The doppelganger of Susuhara. Wait, I'll be right back. That's rude. Yo, it's the doppelganger Susuhara. Oh shit, I need to order food in a while. But I still feel full. But I need to order, so I mean I can order and eat like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You know? But I have to order it before the restaurants close. Anyway, yeah. Once I acquired his suit, none of my sisters will be able to complain. I shall be the one to bring peace to brother Soul. Okay, that's a creepy guy.
離婚病
Subject double syndrome? What the fuck?
離れる魂と書いて離婚病。古くは影の病とも呼んだそうよ。
The fuck?
自分の影、すなわち自分の分身ね。
Oh, come to think of it, this is like a clue. You know what? This is something I should have known this from Ryukishi's art, the way he writes his stories. You know, he has like those question arcs and answer arcs, both in the Meneko no Higurashi. I haven't read Sekonya yet, so maybe it has that thing going on. Well, the answer arc's not there. But remember how like Ruria's introductory chapter, question arc chapter had featured the concept of a doppelganger? So this is practically it. Oh, so I'm guessing I have to remember about Kanae. Because Kanae has a concept of like the Siege King and all. I'm excited for her story. But anyway.
自分の分身に出会うと死んでしまうという怪談は洋の東西を問わずに昔から語り継がれてるの。
ドッペルゲンガーでしたっけ？
西洋ではそう呼ぶわね。
They literally say it.
日本では昔それを離婚病と呼んでいたことがあるの。
リリアちゃんがその離婚病だと。
前にも言った通り、呪いのすすは心の傷に寄生していると考えられる。でも布川さんは学校でも仕事でも順風満帆で何も辛いことに心当たりがないというの。心の傷は往々にして無自覚であることが少なくない。
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people never mind.
それでね、彼女にちょっとした心理セラピーをしたことがあるの。
五円玉を揺らして催眠状態にしてカウンセリングをするという。
Wait, why would she need?
まあ、当たらずも遠からずね。そしてその結果、興味深いことが分かったの。彼女の霊障は子役時代の自分自身が現れて、自分を罵ったり追い詰めたりする形を取ることが多いのが分かったの。おそらく彼女の心の傷がそれなのよ。彼女はきっと人気絶頂にあった小学生アイドル当時の自分と今の自分が
決別できないことに悩んでる。
今も人気があるんじゃないんですか？
私たちの目にはそう見えるけれど、実際はどうかしらね。当時の人気に比べたら今の人気の方が穏やかにも見えるだろうし、今の人気だって元マジカルリリーという肩書きによるものかもしれない。彼女は成長期を経てとても美しい大人の女性の体になったわ。でもそれは子役時代の容姿とはあまりにかけ離れてる。
もう自分はマジカルリリーじゃないのに、周りはマジカルリリーを求め続ける。
彼女はそう感じてると思うわ。気の毒な話よ。長い人生の中では多くの場合、絶頂期は若い時代にピークとなる。そしてそれは中年壮年と長い時間と加齢によって緩やかに下っていく。だから人間は老いても若き日の絶頂期を懐かしむことができるのよ。
でもリリアちゃんは普通の人なら何十年もかけて薄めるべきところを。
そう、わずか数年で急激に変化してしまった。
Everyone becomes sad about losing their youth and getting old. But it's not like they age rapidly. It takes decades, allowing them plenty of time to come to peace with it. But Riria had experienced that in barely 10% of the time it normally takes. It was like she was Rip Van Winkle, aging decades in what felt like the blink of an eye. Wait, who the hell is Rip Van? I'm familiar with the name, but I don't remember what's special about this guy. Oh man, I can't remember. But it's a very familiar name.
私は子役アイドルをもてはやす今の世間が嫌いよ。
Feel the same, bro.
幼いうちに人生のピークを経験させ、それを瞬く間に終わらせて、自己嫌悪の余生を誰よりも長く送らされる。彼女はそんな現代日本の被害者だと思ってる。
Riria Kishi dropping the truth bombs, bro. Base.
でもリリアちゃんは自分ではそう思ってない。その彼女の強さはとても素晴らしいと思います。
そうね。
僕は彼女が頑張り屋さんであることを知ってます。彼女は勉強もお稽古もどちらも絶対に手を抜かないそうです。そんな彼女の頑張りが評価されないわけがないと思ってます。フラワーハイスクールという団体に入れたのも確かに元マジカルリリーという肩書きのおかげかもしれない。でも今にきっとクルス・リリアという一人の女性の魅力にみんな気づいてくれると信じています。
Somewhat reluctantly, Missy Nagata took out her phone. After tapping it for a while, she showed me the screen.
これは？
詳しくは説明しないけれど、無責任な人たちが無責任な発言を垂れ流す表現の自由な掲示板。
Is it 2chan Futaba board? You know, the Japanese version of 4chan? The OG? Actually, that's the OG. 2chan's the OG. No, Futaba is the OG, right? Yeah, I can't remember which one's which, but you know, 2chan was the OG. Farewell, Magical Lily. Memorial Service Part 24. My waifu. Tread 940. Yeah, this is so. This is so. I've seen so much treads like these. This is what I see in my image boards every day. Oh, I should have visited Elde later. I'm sick of Riria Club. Tread 841. Riria Kurusu is ruining high school Flower High's image. 31st performance. Tread 619. Remove Riria Kurusu for Flower High. Petition Part 6. So many. Oh no, sorry. That wasn't the tread number. That was the number of replies. I thought it was the... No, sometimes image boards would say the number of times they recreated the tread on their title. So I thought that was like the number of treads they made. That was the number of replies. Sorry.
眩しい子はその分影も濃くなるというでしょ。 彼女には熱烈なファンが大勢いる分、大勢のアンチもいるのよ。
The dread dinos alone made me want to look away. If it was hurting me that much just to look at it.
彼女はこれを全て知ってるわ。それどころかステージが終わるたびに見ているんですって。
どうしてですか？こんなの見たって辛くなるだけなのに。
批判を力に変えるのがアイドルな持論だそうよ。
I mean, that's how some people decide to cope, you know.
多分自分の頑張りがいつか必ず認められるって
But you have to
彼女は信
understand,
じてるのよ。
there's a contrarian no matter what. I mean, in a contrarian in the sense that they don't actually hate her. They just want to be against mainstream shit.
そしてそれを認めてくれる人が現れないかと今か今かと待ち望みすぎるあまり。
これを毎日見ているというんですか？
Yeah, that's the thing. There's always someone gonna hate you, no matter what.
何度かやめなさいと注意はしたんだけどね。
In between lessons and before she went to bed, she would check rumors on the internet like it was a drug. She kept looking day after day, believing that the countless standards would eventually turn into praise. Is this what Isayama did when he wrote the fucking ending of Shingeki no Kyojin? That was poison, a poison of the heart. If it were only a little, then perhaps it could be the invigorating spark to turn that criticism into strength, just like she said. But this was too much. I continued scrolling down the screen, but the hurtful comments just kept going on.
そんな心の傷が集まってマジカルリリーという姿を形作ったのよ。彼女はそのマジカルリリーが自分の分身となって一人歩きしてるんじゃないかと心の底で怯えてる。それがいつか自分を駆逐して乗っ取ってしまうんじゃないか。
Wait, I should order food in a while. 7, 10. Okay, I'll do that in 6 minutes.
もう一人の自分、マジカルリリーが現れるという不吉な予感。
それが離婚病。もう一人の自分と出会ってしまったら近いうちに死んでしまうという。
Oh wait, did she? Yeah, she died in her introductory chapter. Oh shit, I don't know how they're gonna incorporate that. Because it's also like a weird, I don't know. Shrill laughter seeped out of the club room. Riria was laughing, but it probably wasn't the real her.
いいよ、事務所の人にお願いしたらもっとくれると思うな。夏やお兄ちゃんにマジカルリリーのカードいっぱいもらってきてあげるね。
うひょー、グレート。
あんまりナッチーを甘やかさないでね。わかってまーす。ああ、すずむ、おかえり。先生は？
もうすぐ来るよ。
すずむお兄ちゃんだ。リリー、初めてのお兄ちゃんはすずむお兄ちゃんがいいな。おほー、思わせぶり発言で攻めるね。
初めてのお兄ちゃんって？初めてって何？初めてって何？アングレート。
夏やお兄ちゃんは2番目のお兄ちゃん、
None of that makes sense.
ならオッケー。グレート。
単純だな。
I like Subakiko's, you know, the sprites that we don't see often of her, especially the psycho one, the very paranoid one, and the sad one. Anyway.
すずむ？
リリアちゃん、
なに？お兄ちゃん？
学校での君は布川リリアちゃんだと思うんだ。マジカルリリーとして振る舞うのも可愛らしいけど、それはここでの君じゃない。
Base and red pilled.
だからそういうのはたまにはいいけど、学校では少しだけ慎んだ方がいいんじゃないかな。
おいおい、鈴原、何ケチくさいこと言ってんだよ。俺たちちょっとふざけてただけだぜ。ねえリリアちゃん。
そうだよね、夏やお兄ちゃん。
As I passed by her, I whispered something only she could hear.
マジカルリリーはもう過去の人なんだ。
ベース
だから布川リリアやクルスリリアの居場所にあまり居座らないであげてくれないか
な。鈴のお兄ちゃんが何を言ってるのかわかんない。どうしたのスズム、珍しいね。機嫌悪いことなんてあるんだ。
The fun ends here. The fun ends here. A curse, Suzumu Suzuhara. Do you see right through me? A man demon like yourself actually recognize me for who I am? No. He must be bluffing.
陸奥の末裔め。1000年を超えし縁があるだけのことはあるか。小賢しいが、お前にできることなど何もないわ。
多分私気づいてて気づかないふりをしてたんです。お掃除プリンセスを卒業した時に本当は全てを失ってたんです。なのに私はそれに気づかないふりをして、努力を積み重ねればまた取り戻せるように都合よく錯覚してた。
努力は美しいよね。でもそれだけかもしれない。
そうですよね。
I might need a second layer. Still feels kind of cold. I want to feel like a little toasty. Effort was like fireworks. They were beautiful for a single moment, only to leave nothing behind. The notion that you could succeed by continuously putting in effort was all an illusion. Oh, this is nice. Suzuhara and I were nesting together in the plain of snowy suit. Suzuhara gently wrapped his arms around my shoulder.
でも、どんなに儚い花火だとしても、その一瞬は僕の中で永遠のものになるんだよ。
先輩、私一瞬だけの花火だっていいです。
Yeah, I think this is the evil Suzuhara. This is not the real Suzuhara.
先輩だけの中で。
Yeah, this is the evil Suzuhara.
でもあいつのおかげでちょっとすっきりしました。
あいつって？
リリーです。マジカルリリー。酷だとは思ったけれど、あんたに真実を教えなければならなかった。リリー、誰もクルス・リリアなんて求めてないの。豚どもが求めているのはいつまでたっても10歳の時の私。あんたがどれだけ努力しようと、どれだけ血の涙をこぼそうと。知ってた。あんたはそれを教えるために憎まれ役を買ってくれただけ。誰か私に本当のことを気づ。
Oops. I was weeping, yet I had a smile on my face. I must have looked so pathetic.
泣かないで。それでも僕だけはずっと
Yes, this is the fake Suzuhara.
あんたは私の赤。私が新たな自分となり、あんたはポロポロと忘れられていく。でもあんたは鈴原鈴という奇跡と巡り会えたわ。鈴原。
僕はリリーじゃなくクルス・リリアを、君だけを見ているから。
彼は私じゃなくまっすぐあんただけを見ている。だから私はもう目覚めてもいいかなって。リリー、クルス・リリア、あんたは消えるわ。でも彼の中であんたは永遠に生きる。 それでいい？
いいも何も。世界中の誰も私を求めてなんかいないのに、こんなに嬉しいこと。おかしいな。すごく嬉しいことなのに涙止まらないよ。
Wait, I need to order food now. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I need to order food. I need to order food. Seriously. I'll be right back. got myself some veggie sukiyaki. Way to double down on the vegetables thing, but it's probably going to be sufficient for my needs. The Taiwanese which they lack vegetables and you need a lot of vegetables. Anyway, let's continue.
Riria-chan.
Suzuhara strengthened his grip around me a little. My heart felt like it was soaring.
君の悲しみは僕が永遠に埋めるから。
That evil Suzumu.
だから永遠に僕たちは一緒になろう。
はい。
Suzuhara's face closed in. My heart felt like it was going to burst. Our noses were practically touching. I could see myself in his eyes. Then suddenly, glowed scarlet. Just then, I suddenly felt drowsy. I'll give my health self to Suzuhara. Right now, I'm a little nervous, but I'm so happy.
Riria.
You're getting fooled, woman. My mind went blank as he placed his hand on my cheek. I could hardly breathe.
捧げて君のすべて。
That's a very scummy line. Shouldn't that trigger a red flag for you? I don't know. She's emotionally weak right now.
私のすべて先輩に捧げます。
嬉しいな。リリア。
Suzuhara slowly took his palm out on my cheek and placed it over my stomach. I shouldn't have been able to feel anything, yet that gesture set my heart skyrocketing and my lungs into lockdown. Suzuhara smiled a bit impishly when he saw the look of my face. Next, he slowly rolled up my vest and blouse. My navel was exposed. In a few seconds, doing so, kept going, exposing my upper skin, just a glimpse of the lace of my bra. My mind was completely blank by this point. I said I'd give him everything, but I couldn't imagine I'd already be feeling so nervous after just this.
恥ずかしがらないで。とても綺麗だよ。
Suzuhara was simply pressing against my stomach, yet I felt like I was sinking deep into an angel's bed. My strength faded away, leaving me limp like a stringless marionette.
怖くないの？
No. I could never be scared of Suzuhara. After all, my mind was completely blank. I heard a groan.
怖くないから僕に任せて。
What the fuck? What the hell is going on? I jumped backward. Suzuhara's hand was in me. Not metaphorically, literally. What the fuck is going on? His hand had completely sunk in my stomach like it was made of clay. I couldn't believe my eyes. I froze up completely. I couldn't breathe. But Suzuhara smiled kindly and whispered into my ear.
怖くないから。
Okay, this is a weird suggestive frame. Suzuhara broke my innards, sending electricity surging through my body as though it was a caress. Rapture numbed my spine. I gasped and salivated before a pleasure unlike any I've ever felt before. Yeah, this looks weird. That's the plan. whole body quenched. So, this was how it felt. To trust someone with everything. His fingers traced behind my liver. What the hell? What's up with the liver? And squeezed my tiny little gallbladder. This is so weird.
そこダメ。死んじゃいます。
大丈夫だから感じて。
The surges of pleasure fried my brain. I leaked saliva and tears as yellow bile gushed from the opening of my stomach to my intestines. I floated in a sea of this mysterious secretion and entrails. What the fuck? My face wrapped with euphoria as I panted, immersed in the afterglow of the unknown pleasure. This is getting weirder. I gave everything I had inside the Suzuhara. This bliss was a proof of it. Joy and satisfaction without equal took place of the pleasure that struck like lightning. Though the red entrails were pouring out of my stomach, it didn't bother me. The warmth and tenderness of them were lovelier than anything else.
今度は僕にもしてくれる。
I wasn't just receiving his love. He wanted to feel the same. Oh my god. I awkwardly undid the buttons of his shirt. That was the first time I ever done that for a man. I was still a bit nervous, but the afterglow of my pleasure vastly overweighted. Okay, this is kind of getting weird for my stream, bro. My arm sunk smoothly into Suzuhara's body. It was gooey, gentle, and warm inside. Almost like I'd go to heaven if I sucked it entirely. What the fuck are you watching? This is some weird lies, bro. Suzuhara must have been enduring the same surges of pleasure as me. My heart seized with every little beat moan he let loose.
ここからどうすれば
いいよ。リリアの好きなように。
I groped Suzuhara's innards. Feeling his warm entrails and blood vessels quivering in my grasp gave me a sense of superiority, like I controlled him completely. Suzuhara gasped like a baby each time I touched or tickled his entrails. What the fuck? I just couldn't get enough of it. It was lovely beyond compare. Like having my fingers literally wrapped around him gave me the pleasure of absolute domination. I felt a twinge of mischief stirring in my heart, much like how I only had him. I wanted Suzuhara to only have me. I wanted to teach him the pleasure he introduced me to, make him a slave to that pleasure, to charm him until I was all he ever thought of.
上手ねリリア。でももっと強くしてあげても男の子は羽のような優しさと激しい力強さを交互にされるとすぐにメラメラになっちゃう。
All that mattered to me was pleasuring Suzuhara. I decided to take Lily's advice and grip harder. There was a rumble. Suzuhara threw his head far back as convulsing organs emerged from his stomach. The two of us became entangled as if we were smeared with each other's blood and gore. At that moment, they looked so wondrous, so alluring.
男の人はね、気持ちが良くなってくると
What the
内臓がせり上がってくるんだよ。
fuck?
じゃあこれは先輩が喜んでくれてるってことなの。そう。ほら、これを見てみて。
There was a dusty thump amidst all the mascara. The way it shone and quivered was so adorable.
ほら、ビクビクしてる。これが鈴原すずめ。
This is getting weird for me, man.
Riria.
Suzuhara was hoping for something, and I wanted to give it to him. What was I to do? Something gushed out of Suzuhara's liver with a hiss. It was a dark, muddy substance.
それが鈴原鈴夢の生き肝のエキス。男の子はね、それをジュルルルルって吸われると
What the hell?
頭が空っぽになって天国に行っちゃうのよ。
Oh, I hate the sexual metaphor because when I think about it, I already have what the hell this is supposed to be. But they trying to change the body parts, make it less obviously sexual. Yeah, this is obviously a sexual metaphor, but it gets weird.
忘れられない快感を今度はあんたが教えてあげるパン。鈴原鈴夢の身も心もあんただけのものにしちゃうのよ。
Suzuhara and I panted rapidly. Our breaths were growing shallower. This would make Suzuhara feel good, and then he'd be mine and mine alone. Suzuhara. It was better. This is a weird description of bile, which was also a metaphor for like semen. But I wanted to give my entirety to Suzuhara, so I wanted him to do the same for me. Thus I drank it all up. When he saw me gushing down the syrupy extract, Suzuhara threw his head back and trembled. He twitched in the sea of his own entrails as jubilations sculpted his features. I was thrilled to know I'd given him such unimaginable pleasure. I wiped my mouth with the sticky, soothing liquid stuck to it. I licked it out as though it was the finest delicacy there was. My heart burst with love for Suzuhara. And from then on, whenever his liver grew plump with that extract, I would always drink it all up. At first I hated its bitter taste, but I realized it was Suzuhara. It seems the way it twitched was so cute. The more I drank of it, the more I... This is some weird shit. I know what they were thinking when they were writing this. I swear, I'll always make you feel this good. So please, stay with me forever. Wait, I'll go to the rest of it. That was so... That felt like some poor taste. That felt poor taste. Shit. Some weird shit, man.
今のは鈴原鈴夢の影。予行練習はこれで十分よ、リリア。
Lily's basically saying they are gonna have sex.
さあ行って、本物の鈴夢をここへ連れてくるの。寄宿舎なら誰の邪魔も入らないわ。 時間の限り二人の愛を捧げ合うことができる。先輩と愛。鈴原すずむはシャチホコ部にいるわ。行ってここへ連れてくるの。そして彼の生き肝にたっぷりと溜まったすすをずるりりとすすり取ってあげる。身もだえして喜ぶ。あなただけのものになってくれるわ。
That was the sole way to make the only one in the world who could see me stay with me forever. Riria's eyes lost all light, and she staggered out of the dorm. Her target was the LCSC club room. She would bring back Suzumu, slice open his stomach, and drink the soup from his guts. Yeah, that is a weird.
これで我は
What it's literally trying to
あとは
accomplish there.
口を開けて待つのみ。
It's literally trying to accomplish two things: Suzumu being dead and actually getting his suit. Riria was already an extension of myself at this point. She merely had to call Suzumu Suzuhara over, tear out his guts, and take all his suit. My sister's going to complain about that. I was the most suitable one to bring about the calamity. I would be the one to bring peace to brother's soul.
それにしても非道に風情のたやすいことと言ったら、思い人の影を見せるだけでああもたやすく心を明け渡すとは。
Well, Riria is already at a point of, she is emotionally vulnerable. The shadow of Suzumu smirked maliciously. Though a perfect replica of Suzumu on the outside, he couldn't be any more different under the surface. In reality, he is merely an aggregation of malevolent spirits scattered and merged by the divine curse.
影の病。己に出会ったら死ぬ呪い。リリア、そなたの命運は我に出会った時、そして鈴原鈴む、そなたの影もまたここにある。
ああ、妬ましい、妬ましい、妬ましい。聖者のぬくもりが妬ましくて妬ましくて、頭がどうにかなっちまいそうだ。
じきにあやつも生き肝を引きずり出されて生きた屍よ。聖者のぬくもりとやらを存分に味わい、冥府の凍える寒さを思い知らせて取り殺してやるがよかろうぞ。
ああ、妬ましい、妬ましい。
Nothing about Riria seemed odd to anyone who passed her in the hallway. Her eyes were gleamingly brilliant, her every step bringing with confidence. But things were completely different on the inside. She had been completely possessed by the divine curse, but none would ever pick up on that, of course.
先輩、まだ部室にいるかな。二人きりで秘密の相談があるって言ったらドキドキしてくれるかな。
Riria giggled. The power of the divine curse dwelled in her hand. If she touched someone on the nape of their neck, the curse would flood into them. Then their soul would be sealed in darkness and be turned into a living puppet at the divine curse beck and call. After that, the brainwashed Suzumu would do what Riria asked and march toward his execution.
すずむ、たった今お手洗いに行ったよ。ありがとうございます。ありゃりゃ、おトイレまで押しかける気？リリアン大胆。いた
あれ、リリアちゃん？
先輩。
Bison. Riria's eyes flashed scarlet for a moment. The cursed power coursed through her hand.
先輩
Really? You're gonna try it on the guy who has holy hands?
何？
ちょっと相談に乗ってほしいことがあるんです。
僕で力になれるのなら。
嬉しいです。それでできれば誰も絶対に来ないところで話を聞いてほしいんです。
今夜電話で話す？
いえ、できれば直接。
いいよ。
ご迷惑でなければ今。
構わないけどどうかってわけにはいかないよね。
それならご安心を。いい場所をすでに見つけてありますので。
いい場所って学校の中のこと？
はい。寄宿舎なら誰も来ませんので。今の時期合宿をやってる部活もありませんので好都合なんです。
でも鍵とかかかってるんじゃないかな。
Oh shit, I accidentally pushed my other laptop. That was an unusual accident. Wait, let me fix the camera. It also moved. There we go. Maybe when that happens. Though Suzumu appeared thick-headed, even he was noticing how off the sound. He seemed somewhat suspicious of Riria's sudden request. But Riria slowly snaked her arm around his back, like a reptile soundlessly approaching its prey. And then she made her strike.
Riria-chan?
Suzumu's body twitched the moment Riria touched the back of his neck. After convulsing for a while, he stared blankly at the ceiling, his mouth agape.
先輩、私と寄宿舎へ行きましょう。
Suzumu nodded and did as he was told. Riria focused him gently and took his hand in hers, almost as though she was a nurse guiding a patient of unsound mind. Suzumu's eyes were devoid of light. He was already a living puppet.
先輩がすっごく喜んでくれること、とっても恥ずかしいことだけれど、先輩が気持ちよくなってくれるなら、私頑張りますから。先輩のタプタプに溜まった苦くてしょっぱい
Oh man, this is cringe.
私全部すすり出してごっくんって。
Riria entered the dorm with Suzumu and locked the door behind her. Thanks to the power of the divine curse, no one else would be capable of entering the door now.
ここなら誰も来ないです。
The room had already transformed into another world, connecting the human realm and the realm of those not human. Once Suzumu entered the room and shut the door, the scenery warped. A fell whirlwind engulfed the room, staining everything inside with pitch black. The area transfigured into the snowfield of falling soup in the brink of an eye.
さすがの鈴原鈴音も我が呪いの前にはなすすべの
ね。ねたしみ。お前のその生きたぬくもり、ねたましみ。
肝を抜かれた後はお前の好きにするがいいぞ。だがまず こやつの体をむさぼるはそこの娘か。さあリリアよ、時は来たれる。今こそその男をお前だけのものにする時、じきに赤となって消え去るお前はその男の寵愛を永遠とすることで。
Oops. Ruria's palm shone ominously. She slowly reached out for Suzume. She undid his button, exposing his bare chest. No human could resist the gift of pleasure, not of this world. Oh, what the fuck? Riria brought her hand towards Suzume's stomach, her fingers wriggling obscenely. But just as she was about to touch it, her arm stopped. Suzume had locked tightly in his grasp. Yeah, this is part of his keikaku.
リリアちゃんの孤独な辛さに僕が救いになるのなら、僕はいくらでも君のために力になれるから。
Suzume's eyes regained their fierce shine. The divine curse couldn't believe what she was seeing.
バカな、お前はもう生き人形のはずなのに。
Yeah, look at that. Bro, look at my chest.
リリアちゃんの手が近づいた時、彼女の例えようもないほど孤独な悲しみが流れ込んできた。
パイセン。
その気持ちを共有したくて、リリアちゃんの辛さを心から受け止めたくて、僕はあえてお前の呪いとやらを受けたんだ。
あえてだと。
人である以上誰だって悲しみは背負ってる。でもそれを背負ってなお歩き続けられる強さだ。リリアちゃん、君は美しいくらいに。
私ここは。
Riria was gradually released from the curse. The divine curse herself was rendered speechless. All her plans had come to ruin.
ここはどこですか？先輩が二人マジカルリリー。
落ち着いて。ここはきっと君の心の中の世界。そして僕は本当の鈴原鈴で、そこにいるのは君と僕の姿を模した。
貴様、一体。
This is a weird sweat thing.
でも僕は神の呪いとやる一つだけ感謝することがあるんだ。
感謝だと。
Yeah, that's weird.
リリアちゃんの悲しみを理解させてくれてありがとう。彼女がどれほどの孤独と悲しみの中をたったりそれをお前たちのおかげで僕は心の底から理解できる。そして怒りだ。彼女の強さを砕き、悲しみの傷に塩を塗るような真似を重ね、彼女の心を押しつぶしてお前の邪悪の駒にしようとしたこと。それだけでも許しがたいけれど、僕が真に怒ることは彼女が救いを見出した僕の姿を模して彼女を追い詰めたこと。これが僕の感謝と怒りだ。
Suzume lowered his hips and ready to his fist. There was no mistaking it. This was the fist of the Suzuran divine tribute style, which was to be offered upon the god. Power crushed evil dedicated to God for 1,000 years, became a whirlwind and burst out all over Suzume's body.
悲しみが知りたくてあえて我が呪いを受けたと。そして 我が呪いを受けておきながら心を保ち続けたと。貴様、本当にただの人間なのか。
妬ましい、妬ましい。その生きる者の放つ輝きが妬ましい。
僕の姿を模して彼女を傷つけたこと、それを僕は絶対に許しはしない。
妬ましい、妬ましい、妬ましい。
The thing disguised as Suzumu distorted ominously in the face of that sheer power. Normally, residents of the mortal realm had no means of physically interacting with evil spirits, but here they could be touched and killed. In this world, it was possible for humans to feel the utter malice these evil spirits possess. Raising a cry that rent the soul, the creature of malice charged straight at Suzumu, swiftly enough to outpace one's shadow, a speed no human could possibly follow with their eyes. Suzumu couldn't see it either. No, its movements were beneath his notice. Suzumu had constantly dedicated his fist to God before a giant tree or bells. With his eyes widened and his mind honed to its limits, the speed of the holy evil presence was no different than an immobile tree. Suzumu used an restraining exercise.
邪悪を打ち破りて正しきを示す。
The evil spirit taking Suzumu's form turned to soothe and scattered across the pitch black snow field. Much like evil spirits could directly exert their malice on humans in this realm, so could humans directly exert their strength on them. Suzumu had crushed them in just one punch. The divine curse was stunned at Suzumu's composure. It was enough to make her tremble.
そなたは一体。
今のは怒りの拳だ。君には感謝の拳を捧げる。
若者、人をにごときがこの我に神の呪いをうがつというのか。
先輩、ごめんねリリアちゃん。マジカルリリーの姿のままもう一人の君なんだ。そうもう一人の君の姿を見つことを今だけ許してほしい。
やっつけてそいつをマジカルリリーを私の世界から消し去って。
覇者検証、邪悪を打ち破りて正しきを示す。
神の呪いを恐れぬ不届き者め、試すがよいぞ。そなたの
Famous last words. Famous last words.
我が身をうがつか否か試してみるがよい。
はあ。
Riria moaned in pain and agony as she fell to her knees. Suzumu halted his punch and pulled back as soon as he realized what happened. Had he continued to struck the divine curse with all his might, he might have destroyed Riria form inside out.
Riria-chan!
Oh, so punching her would be like punching Riria herself. That's a nice peek at you. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is a good trick.
愚かなり人にね。我の姿を見誤ったか。
リリアちゃんの姿を
She was
マジカルリ
literally
リー
part
の
of
姿を
Riria.
模しているだけじゃないのか。
我もリリアも同じ人間よ。我を撃つ
Yeah, I knew it.
その女を撃つも同じこと。その我を消し去れたね。愚かな女め。 契約の条件とはいえ罵るそなたも哀れよな。失われている記憶を返してやろう。思い返すがいいリリアよ。そなたがマジカルリリーをやめ仕事を失った日々のこと。
Black Wizard engulfed Riria and Suzume, called back her sealed memories. I want it back. I want to be Magical Lily again. I hate this body. I want my adorable, dainty little body back again. On the night she made that heartfelt cry, the divine curse appeared to her and whispered thus.
そなたの魂を我に捧げるならその願いを叶えてやってさすがそなたはまるで赤が離れるようにそなたの望む姿に戻ることができる。そなたの姿は失われその魂も失う。それを我と契約した記憶さえも失われるのにそれでもね魂でも何でも捧げますから。
God damn, Riria.
私を消してマジカルリリーに生まれ変わらせて。我の姿はそやつの望んだこと。そしてそやつの姿はやがて赤のごとくうつしおより剥がれ落ち消えてなくなる。後に残るは我のこの姿だけ。喜べリリア。そなたの願いはじきに叶おうぞ。そんなあなたがいるの私が望んだことなの。
Wow, wow.
そんな
Suzume's forehead beaded with sweat. Though he was calm and collected, he didn't know how he could turn the situation around. The divine curse represented by Lily's appearance was the one eating away at Riria. However, she was also Riria herself. Just like she said, punching her would mean punching Riria. In other words, he couldn't strike her.
ようやく理解できたようだな、鈴原鈴夢。確かに我が呪いをいともたやすく跳ね返したそなたの力には驚かされた。なるほど、1000年をただダミンで過ごしていたというわけではないようだ。神を打つ拳を得たようだが、それもトロ。我はリリー、すなわちそこなる女の分身。神は打てても女は打てまい、鈴原鈴夢。
She was right. Suzume could never choose to destroy the divine curse if it meant punching Riria. He had to strike the divine curse to save her, but he couldn't do that if it resulted in Riria's own death too. Sweat dripped down Suzume's face. Upon seeing this, the divine curse realized Suzume had hit the dead end.
退屈な1000年を報いるには十分な余興であったぞ。茶番はこれにてお開きとしようではないか。
Still raised her palm to the heavens, and a moment later. Wait, maybe my food is here. Oh, it's still not here. It's arriving. Anyway, the doe raised her palm to the heavens, and a moment later, a twisted lump of metal sprouted out of her funnel. Oh yes, it had to be a hammer. This is. I was thinking about getting a hammer for my character in Elden Ring, like a second one. A giant hammer almost coated in faded blood.
この土にて二人まとめて叩きつぶし、すりつぶし、肉と臓物の切れ端の塊に変えてくれる。
Man, this is so badass.
そなたの生き肝を引きずり出した後は、せめて二人とも混ぜ合わせて、まんじゅうに変えて食らってやろうぞ。
The giant hammer struck the ground like lightning. Suzume's body racked with an abject terror. His whole body quaked. The fear shook him to his very bones. The sweat dripping from his face expressed just how precarious his predicament was. Oh, that is so cool. And on his own, he might have been able to do something against the giant hammer. But Riria was here. The nigh incomprehensible reality had left her stunned. She started muttering to herself that this was a nightmare, her mental defenses working to protect her mind. It was impossible. She couldn't defend herself. She would be crushed by the hammer. Her fate was already sealed, already set in stone. There was only one way to avert that, to settle this once and for all, before the fate could come to pass. The only way Suzumu could save them was to dedicate his fist to punch the divine curse. But that would affect Riria too. Suzumu was well aware his fist had enough power to kill someone, meaning they were out of options. He had to strike, but couldn't. It seemed the divine curse understood that as well. She dragged the hammer while slowly approaching them, cheering at their plight. She was but a few steps away. Suzumu needed to come up with a plan in the span of time to find a weak point to exploit. Just then, Riria started laughing hopelessly. Oh no. She gave up in life.
嬉しいな。嬉しいな。私はいよいよマジカルリリーに。
Her eyes were glazed over. She was losing her sanity. And yet they were also damp.
嬉しいな。嬉しいな。またマジカルリリーに戻れるんだ。これでやっとみんなが化け物っていう。
化け物なもんか。布川リリアは、クルスリリアは気高くて美しいじゃないか。
そんなこと言ってる人見たことないよ。
Bro, Suzumu literally just said it.
みんなリリーの頃は良かった。天使だったって。あの頃は良かった。みんな私のことを可愛くて素敵だって
I never understood
褒めてくれた。
that expression. How could be butting be cute? And never mind.
なのに今はみんな
You really need to
悪
stop
口ばっか
browsing
り。
2chan, man.
私はそんなの嫌だよ。
みんながそういうわけじゃないよ。クルスリリアの頑張りをちゃんと認めてくれてる人だっている。
いないよ。そんな人いないの知ってるもん。レッスン頑張った。ダンスも演技もみんな頑張ってるのに、誰も認めてくれない。誰も。だから思ったの。今思う。心から思う。クルスリリアなんていらない。私なんて今すぐ死んじゃえばいいんだ。
Kinjaiba. Wait a second. I was wondering where my food is. Oh, it's already delivered. I'll be right back.
ればマジカルリリーだけが残る。もう誰にも悪口を書かれなくて済む。
リリアちゃん、
潰して私を。マジカルリリー。それでよい。よくぞ達観したリリアよ。せめて最後くらい愛しい人間と抱き合いながら行くがよい。二人の血肉は混じり合い一つとなるであろうぞ。
先輩は初めて会った時から私とリリーを見分けてくれていました。私をリリーの残りカスだなんて思わずに、そんな先輩が私の心の唯一の救いでした。そんな先輩が好きです。大好きです。だから。
Sorry, I paused there because I was thinking. Nah, I was thinking. No, well, she's in a bad emotional state, so I totally understand that. But anyway.
消える時だけでも一つになってください。その胸に私の顔をうずめさせてください。お願い。
リリア、
貴様は女の最後の頼みも聞けぬふぬけか、鈴原鈴よ。
I love that. This totally feels like a Dark Souls character. You know what? I could probably cosplay this in Dark Souls. I have a dress. I could get the ancient, the regal ancestors' horns. I already have the hammer, so.
我は無慈悲ではない。二人まとめて痛みさえ感じさせずに一撃のもとに潰してやろうぞ。
Suzumu nodded.
おいで、リリアちゃん。
最後くらい呼び捨てで呼んでほしい。
おいで、リリア。
先輩。
Riria spread her arms and slowly approached Suzumu. He embraced her, but just as she was about to bury her face in his chest, he let go.
最後じゃない。クルス・リリアの活躍をこれからも応援したい人間が大勢いるから。だからこれで最後なんかにはならない。
Yeah, boy.
なればどうするというのか、鈴原鈴。我を撃つか。撃てばリリアも死ぬ。
撃つのはお前じゃない。
何。
Suzumu lowered his hips and readied his fists. The keen glint in his eyes was aimed not at the divine curse, but Riria.
ごめんね、リリアちゃん。
I'm gonna punch you.
君に必ず信じさせてあげるから我慢して。神の呪いは君の心の傷に寄生しているだけだ。そしてその心の傷を生み続けさせている真の元凶は
I need you to wake up!
君自身にあるんだ。
Basically, the divine curse instantly paled. He'd done it. Suzumu had seen through the true source of the curse that burdened her current form.
貴様、元凶ってどういうことですか。
今ごめん。
I need you to wake up!
歯を食いしばって。
Yeah, boy. I love how this works. Suzumu prepared to strike Riria. Utterly lost, Riria could only stare with confusion. The divine curse frantically raised her hammer, but she was too late. Compared to Suzumu's dedication to God, her strike was painfully slow.
覇者検証。
Yeah, that's also my problem with
邪
Elden
悪を
Ring.
打ち破りて正しきを示す。
最 させるか。
Suzume launched her punch directly at Riria's chest. Did that strike pulverize her organs and bones? Suzume did indeed feel something shatter, but he stopped his fist right before he could hit Riria's body. Instead, he shattered something she kept close to her chest. It was the cause and source of the curse that burdened Lily. Lily threw her head back with a scream. Her appearance faded away, turning into Riria with antlers of the sacred deer.
見破るとは。
改めてもう一度報じるよ。彼女の悲しみを教えてくれてありがとう。彼女の心に訴えるこの機会を与えてくれて。
そなたは一体神の呪いが効かず、そして神をうがつ拳を持つだと。
Bro, the god's curse, you know, yeah. So that god is helping me out. So peace out.
その光はどうして。
君は彼女の心の痛みへの水先案内
She realized that. She realized that.
導いてくれてありがとう。僕にあるのはただ感謝。
バカな。我こそは六神彦の御事の呪いなり。
Yeah, but Rokugami Mihiko no Mikoto is helping me out. Good luck with that.
その我がなぜ人に不正に。
覇者表彰邪悪を打ち破り正しきを示す。
Suzume's fist glowed with a heavenly shine. Even the divine curse could not help but falter before its radiance.
兄上様のご無念を晴らせず、このようなところで散らねばならぬなど許されぬ、許されぬ。
She was sent to the Shadow Realm. The snowfield cleared up little by little. Before long, it had turned back into the room at the dorm. I was still in a daze. While I was used to having harrowing daydreams, this was the first time I'd shared one with someone else, with Susuhara. Thus I knew without a doubt it had been no daydream, but rather something that actually happened.
リリーは消えたんですか？
消えないよ。消えるも何もリリーだって君なんだから。
そうですよね。
I lowered my head a little. I'd likely continued to have daydreams about Lily. Suzuhara indeed struck down something ghastly, but the magical Lily's shadow would continue to torment me for a long time to come.
リリーは君の大切な分身なんだ。怯える必要も憎む必要もでも君はリリーを逃げるために使っていたんだ。
逃げる？
ネットで無責任な人たちがかつての君が良かったと言い続ける。
Stop browsing too, Chad, bro.
だから君はマジカルリリーになれば悪口を言われずに済むと思ってリリーに逃げ込もうとしていたんだ。
私そんなつもり。
I couldn't deny it. He was probably right on the dot. I wanted to be Magical Lily because I desired recognition. Because I didn't want to hear people badmouth me anymore.
承認欲求は人間なら誰もが持つ自然な欲求よ。
Oh, Hinagata is here for some
恥ず
reason.
かしくなんかないの。
雛形先生。
布川さん、あなたは誰よりも努力家。だからその努力を誰かに認められたいと願うのは当然のことなのよ。でも匿名で無責任に喋ることができる昨今は
Fucking two Chad. Futowa bored.
人を褒めるよりもけなす方が楽しくて賑やか。だからいい評価は埋もれてしまう。あなたに届くことはない。
No, noticing an odd sensation in my chest. I reached into my breast pocket and found my smartphone. Its screen smashed into pieces.
壊しちゃってごめんね。
Yes, your friend was the source of all evil.
でも今のリリアちゃんには
I like this. This is symbolism. Stop browsing 2chan, bro.
まあそうですよね。痛々しい掲示板ばっか眺めて毎日落ち込んでるだけですものね。
Bro, you just need daily dose of affirmation words in the morning. Since you're doing yoga anyway, you might as well do that. Missy Nagata took out her own phone, played around it for a while. For a few moments, they showed it to me. It was someone's blog. Riria's performance was amazing. I was surprised how much better her dancing gotten. I feel like I'm discovering a new side of her she didn't have back when she was Magical Lily. It would be a disservice to keep calling her Magical Lily. From now on, Riria Kurisu has my full support.
他にもあるわよ。見る？
Where's the... What? Wait, does she have a top?
はい。
Diamonds among all the coal. The internet might be a breeding ground for slander. But at the same time, there were indeed people out there rooting for me who recognized how hard I worked. But I only saw the bad, and so I became deaf to their encouragement.
あなたの努力、ちゃんと見てくれてる人たちがいるわよ。
Yeah, that's true. That the internet kind of polarizes your pessimism. But in reality, there's also some good, even in the cesspool of the internet.
これらはみんな、鈴原くんが見つけてきてくれたの。
Yeah, he had to go like beyond the 100th page of Google.
不慣れだったスマホを頑張って使いこなしてね。
先輩。
君の代わりに僕が応援してくれる人たちの声を伝えるから。だからその役目を僕に任せてはくれないかな。
This is why people hire social media managers.
つまりネットはもう二度と見るなってことですよね。
しばらくの話よ。あなたはもともととても強い子なんだから、その力強さを取り戻せるまでの間、しばらくネットはお休みということね。
Oh, this kind of reminded me of like Buddy Girl Senpai with what's her name? The MC's sister. She had the saddest arc, but there was like something about how the internet caused her some visible actual bruises and cuts. Yeah, I kind of remember it. What's her name again? Let me actually Google that really quickly. Oh damn. Kaide. Oh my god! There's a literal character named Kaide in this game, and I didn't think about her. I couldn't even recall Kaide. Never mind.
その代わり僕が毎日リリアちゃんを応援してくれる人たちを探すよ。
I'm gonna be your 4chan mod. Or your... I'm not gonna see that shitty website.
君を応援してくれている人がたくさんいるんだってこと、きっと信じさせてあげるから。
My eyes welled up with tears, but not from sorrow, not anymore.
応援してくれる人のブログとかコメントとか拾ってくれるのも嬉しいですけど、それに先輩の応援もプラスしてくれたら納得しようかなって思います。
それは大変ね。リリアちゃんのステージちゃんと全部見ないとね。
お金足りるかな。
スタッフチケットとかあるんでしょ？それくらい手配してあげなさいよ。
I'm gonna watch every single of your
だって
performance from this
鈴
day
原
forward.
くんはもうあなたの心のマネージャーさんなんだから。
I hate this. The manager of your heart.
そういえば先生、いつからいたんですか？いいタイミングで話に加わってきたんで不思議だと思ってたん
Yeah,
です
that's
けど。
kind of creepy.
それよそれ。聞いて聞いて。校内を巡回してたらね、 なんと男子生徒と女子生徒が人気のない寄宿舎に入っていくのを見ちゃったのよ。いかがわしいことがあるといけないわって思ってね、現場に突入しちゃったわけなのよ。
Like in the god. I want to see her DLC seriously.
ほらほら、これがリリアちゃんが男子を寄宿舎に引き込むところの写真。ほらほら、二人きりで女子の部屋にいる写真もあるのよ。
What's up with the blackmail material?
すっごく誤解を生む写真です。削除してください。うん、無論削除はするけど、リリアちゃんに一つだけお願いが。はいはい、脅迫ですね。交換条件は何ですか？乱気流のライブチケット、いい席が手に入らない？うちの事務所のイケメンユニットですね。了解です。手配します。あ、その代わり削除する前にその写真印刷してもらうことってできますか？
Wait, what the fuck are you doing, Riria?
いいわよ。
Wait, what is she doing? What's she planning to do? Why would she print it? After that, Riria switched to a traditional flip phone. It only functioned as a phone. She couldn't access the internet. Meanwhile, she also sealed away her computer in her closet. It felt suffocating at first, but before long, she was happier than she had been in a while. I love this is like a thing about the internet. Oh, who would have thought the internet caused her problems? Anyway.
じゃあまね、昨日のステージでのコメントは拾ってあります？
うん、お気に入りに登録してあるよ。はい、どうぞ。
先輩の感想テキストがないですよ。いっぱい書いてくれたでしょうね。
I'm not paid to do that.
頑張っていっぱい書いたよ。でも一昨日と同じステージだし、毎日の感想は大変だな。
もうしっかりしてくださいよ先輩。あ、これ次の土日のチケットです。絶対両方来てくださいね。
Oh man, it kind of sucks working. This is work.
さすがはグレートスハラ。リリアちゃんのマネージャーを任されるとは。
でもね、リリアちゃん、スズムはあなたの奴隷じゃないんだよ。
奴隷なんてとんでもない。むしろ奴隷なのは私です。見かけによらず腹黒な先輩の罠にかかって、マネージャーにしないとこの写真をばらまくぞって脅されて。
Oh, is that why she had it printed?
いやー、なにこれなにこれ、スズム、
Oh my god. Like this is like a secret blackmail thing. Reverse blackmail thing.
どういうことよスズム。なんでリリアちゃんと相引きしてる写真があるのよ。
何の話？
この写真をばらまかれたら私の芸能人生命はおしまいです。ああ、だから私は鈴原先輩の言いなりに。
What the hell?
先輩は一日中私につきまとって、隙があれば私を慰み者に。
鈴原裏山けしからぬ。
何？なんでみんな僕を見てるの？何の話？
あ、初田先輩、窓の外を見てください。あれってウルトラレアカードじゃないですか？
Why did they use the same line?
なんだって？どこにどこに？
Right when Natsuya ran over to the window. I like the CG. Riria leaned forward because Suzu's list while his guard was down. Oh, I like this. I like their reaction. Kanae and Tsubakiko. This is I think this CG is better than the one with Tsubakiko. Tsubakiko and Kanae were rendered speechless, their mouths agape. Suzumu stared in bewilderment, his mind processed what had just happened.
不本意ながらこれも脅迫されてやってるんです。一日一回キスを捧げないとあの写真をばらまかれちゃうんです。
That's some reverse blackmail shit.
スズム、あんたね、女の敵腹黒、話を聞かせなさい。
何のこ ことが本当にわからないよ。痛い痛い。リリアちゃん、笑ってないで助けてよ。
やるね。
I like Kanae's
オイラたち
face.
に宣戦布告ってこと？
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna have Kanae's route tomorrow or more. Yeah, tomorrow.
ま
We're gonna do
あ、
Elde
そう
Ring
受け
after
取って
dinner.
もらっても結構です。
Please keep watching me, Suzuhara. Riria Kurisu is out there performing for you and you alone. And in the meantime, I'll make sure to steal your heart so you won't be able to look away from me. I like that. I like that reaction phase. All right. So we're gonna wait for like after the credits. I like how every ending chapter, how each closing chapter can end up as like, you know. Great, sorry, I'm looking for something. Now she was sent to the Shadow Realm.
そなたの無念と進も我が鹿と引き受けようぞ。小賢しき人鬼どもの五つ子の邪法によって分けられたすすだが、 再び一つに戻ることを誰も食い止められはせぬ。六神彦の御事の呪いは一つに戻る。そして兄上様のご無念を慰めるに足る大災厄となりて人鬼どもを必ずや滅ぼすのだ。
すずむ、もうすぐご飯できるからそれくらいにしてシャワー浴びてきたら。
It didn't seem Suzumu had hurt her. His heart and soul was devoted solely to his training. Tsubakiko called out to him again, but his focus remained unbroken. But I felt like something was coming into view. The divine curse had resided in both of them, feeding off their mental trauma. Twice had my fist reached them. Perhaps the second time was also a fluke, but it had reached nonetheless. At first I only felt it with my fingers, but this time I felt it with my palm, a resistance of sorts. Perhaps this was arrogant, but I felt I needed to say it. Step by step, I was slowly but surely approaching the essence of the divine tribute style. I'd already felt it with my hand. I just need to grasp it and clench my hand into a fist and dedicate it.
Sit! あれ、キコちゃん。
食べるご飯温め直すよ。
Oh, Tsubakiko was waiting there for the entire time.
話しかけても全然聞こえてないんだもん。すっごい集中力だったね。
もう少しつかめそうなんだ。
つかめるとどうなるの？
みんなを助けられると思
う。みんなって？
The faces of those in the LCSC suffering from the hauntings flashed through my head. But they weren't the only ones. The divine curse had lasted 1,000 years. Simply saving a few of its descendants wouldn't cut it, I could tell. So all I could say was this.
みんなだよ。みんな。僕が助けたい。
All the people who suffered from the machinations of the divine curse. The shrine's visitors went to pray not at the main hall, but the worship hall built in front of it. Many unfamiliar with the shrine assumed that it was the main hall. The Shintai for the god to find in this shrine was stored in the main hall, however not the worship hall. As such, it was regarded as sacred and not even the chief priest could enter without permission. There were some shrines where not even the head priest ever beheld a shrine's Shintai. Iwaimoto's main hall was only open a few days a year for cleaning, but the general public wasn't allowed inside, just the priests of the Kurakamis and the representative of the parishioners. Thus it was a very sacred and majestic place for Toei. A bulky temple bell hung from the tight rope. The room was decorated in reverently, signifying the bell was unmistakably the shrine's Shintai. But the bell was neither fancy nor all that special. It was a cursed bell covered mainly in the suit that no amount of polish could ever remove. The cursed millennium began from the moment Suzunome was sealed inside it. The suit gathering ritual was conducted. Since the bell was hanging off the ground, one could crawl into it if they wanted. Toei had tried to do that as a child and was scolded harshly. She was told the area under the bell was very sacred, was off limits. Toei had come to the dimly lit main hall by herself. She kneeled in front of the well. After that, she quietly opened her mother's letter. Read this only when you can no longer bear the stones in your stomach. The agony in her stomach was nearly unbearable by now, meaning the time had come. The foreword contained information her mother and grandmother had passed down. The both of them had discerned that the seal on the cursed suit would break someday, but they couldn't just let that come to pass. To seal those suit away forever and keep this land safe, that was the duty passed down to the daughters of the Kurokami family, generation after generation. It seemed to her grandmother had been seriously considering how to prepare for that day. The seal had almost broken several years ago, but the crisis was averted when they were divided up the suit with the quintuplet spell, and that was the only way the Kurokamis had of extending it. But the tome with the spell had been lost to fire. Thus, there was an urgent need to find an alternative to a spell. As a result, they had discovered one viable resort. The final resort was written in the letter. First of all, the seal could not last forever. That was a fact. But it was merely wishful thinking that diluting the suit just at the right time would prevent a full-blown calamity. In the end, the daughters of the Kurokamis would not be rewarded for keeping the curse sealed for 1,000 years. Despite that, however, there was one last resort that could weaken the calamity at least a little. Her grandmother had once considered using it to end her own cursed life. She couldn't bear the thought of having a child doomed to suffer from the same agony as her. But in the end, she couldn't help but believe in the unfulfilled dream of her ancestors, her descendants that had all clung to until the bitter end. That the curse would somehow end, and the Rokugami no Mikoto's wrath would be quelled. Otherwise, there would be no reward for the 1,000 years of suffering, which is why this last resort was only for when all hope of the miracle seemed lost. A way to delay the curse for as long as possible, once the current sacrifice had made peace with her fate. Someone who'd never borne that burden might have given up at the realization that the calamity was inevitable, but the sacrifices of the Kurokami family were familiar with suffering. All they wished for was that it would be worth something, and Toei was no different.
ありがとうございます。母上、トエは母上の、そしてご先祖様代々の苦労を決してないがしろにすることはありません。
Toei made that vow, looked up at the dimly lit bell, and shone there in solemn silence.
それにしても陸奥の末裔め、一度ならず二度も我らを返り討ちにするとは。そなたはどうする？我らのすすすべてを集めれば十分な災厄となろう。あれのすすをあればよいが、たやすくは手に入るまい。それでもあれの生き肝欲するのか。そなたの手で自ら災厄を下したいと願うか。
無論にございます。兄上様のご無念を晴らすことこそ我らの悲願。五つ子の邪法にて別れた身とはいえ、その志は姉上様に勝るとも劣りません。
She slowly stood up. Her gaze was fearless, her eyes shining scarlet. Well, yeah, it's an automatic thing. Oh, no, not yet. Oh, there you go. This is a good stopping point for me. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll be eating dinner, and I'll be back with Elden Ring. So, yeah. I'll see, Iwaihime will continue tomorrow. Maybe in the morning, or the usual time. We'll see. We'll actually see. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys on the later stream.